Hello. In this video, you're going to learn how to submit a pay application via eBuilder with American States Utility Services. First, we're going to review the workflow for a pay application in eBuilder. First, the subcontractor is going to enter and submit the pay application. The subcontractor will have the ability to attach backup documentation for stored materials, and you can also mark your pay application as a final pay app or a retention pay app. After the subcontractor submits the pay application through eBuilder, it will then automatically go to an ASUS team member for review. This would either be your capital project supervisor, and your project accounting analyst will review your pay application, and if they have revisions, they can request them at this point. If everything looks good, then after the ASUS review, it will return back to the subcontractor to sign the pay application. During this step, the subcontractor is going to print the PDF version of the pay application, sign it, and upload it back into the system. After the subcontractor signs the pay app, the workflow will then automatically continue to ASUS for final signature, approval, and payment processing. So the capital project supervisor will sign the pay application. The project accounting analyst will grant final approval. And then the approved pay application is automatically sent to Accounts Payable for payment processing. Now we are going to look in eBuilder and walk through the steps of submitting a pay application. First, you're going to log into the eBuilder website, going to gov.e-builder.net. You will be provided your login credentials, and if you have any questions on your login credentials, feel free to reach out to ASUS for assistance. After you log in to eBuilder, you will be on your home page. There are two ways to access the pay application. The first would be to use the Quick Start menu, which is on the left-hand side of your page, and you can select the pay application link. The other option is to go to the top of your page and select the Processes button. So you're going to the top of the page, select the Processes tab, and then in the far right, you are going to see a section called All Projects. Using the drop-down, you will see a list of the projects that you are associated with. You will then select the applicable project you would like to start a pay application for. Then the page will refresh to the Processes area, and you can select to start a process on the far right. A list of processes will appear, and if you want to start your pay application, you would select the pay application link. This will open up a blank pay application. At the top of the page, you'll be asked to include your header information, application period start and end date. You can either type in a date, or you can use the calendar icon and select a date from the calendar. You will enter the application number. So if this is your first pay app, you would enter 01 as an example. And you can also enter your subcontractor invoice number. If your company has an internal invoice number, then you can enter that number here. You will then also be asked to mark if this is a final pay app, yes or no. If it is, obviously, you would select yes, and if not, you can select the no button. Moving down in the center of your screen, you will see a blue area with instructions on how to complete the backup documentation, as well as the line item grid that will appear in just a moment. If this pay application requires supporting documents or has materials stored, we do require those backup documentation to be uploaded to eBuilder. You would simply select the Browse Computer button, and then select your file by using the Browse function, and then simply click to upload that file to this pay application. So you would find your saved file on your desktop and then upload it to the application. Then moving down to the commitment invoice details section, I would like to point out a couple of things. The first is there is a marker for a retainage release. If this is your retainage release pay application, you would check mark this box. If not, then you would leave it unchecked. Date received is the date you are submitting your pay application, which is typically today's date. It will auto-populate with today's date. If you need to select a different date, feel free to use the calendar icon or type in the correct date. Then at this point, you are going to need to select a commitment from the drop-down menu, and this is going to be your contract associated with this project. You would use the drop-down arrow, and then your contract number, your company, and the contract value will appear on the list below. After you select it from the drop-down menu, the page is going to refresh, and your schedule of values for that contract is going to appear in the list below. As you can see, in column B is a description of each line item. It will show the unit cost and unit of measure. In column C is your scheduled value for your contract, including your quantity and amount per line item. In column D, if you have previous payment applications, this will auto-populate for you and move over as each application is completed. Column E is where you're going to enter in your values for this period. Column F is where you're going to enter in if you have any materials presently stored on site for this period. And then the subsequent columns are going to auto-populate based off of what you enter in column E and F. For example, current work invoices period, current payment due, balance to finish. And then if you continue all the way to the right, you'll see your retainage payments as well. If you notice at the bottom of the invoice items grid, there's a gray bar with your total column. So for example, the bottom of column C is your total contract value, $42,300. Column D, your work in place from previous applications, is $9,525, and so on. As you continue to enter values in column E and F, again, those will continue to populate as you move through your payment application. So as an example, we're going to enter in quantity on this first line item. We will enter in a quantity of 25. Simply select the pencil marker next to quantity and type in the quantity for that period. If you move your mouse to the amount column, you will see that it auto-populates the value based on the unit cost of that line item. And as you move down the grid, you will see that your totals continue to increase based off of what you enter for your values this period. If you have materials presently stored, you would simply enter in those values. If you are no longer storing these materials and they are in place this period, you would just need to remove the value from column F. And if this quantity includes materials in place, then you are all set. So you would remove this $250 value here. And if it's in place this period, you would simply enter it into the amount column in column E. As you are aware, any materials presently stored that you submit on a pay application are paid out that period. So in subsequent periods, as they're put into place, you will not be double paid out for them. So as you can see, right now for this period, you're invoicing $2,525. Current worked invoice this period after your stored materials are taken out is $1,275, and current payment due is $1,147.50. As you scroll to the right, you'd be able to see your retainage this period as well, $127.50. In this example, the retainage percentage is 10%, and that will be brought in when we bring over your contract items to eBuilder. If you have a very lengthy pay application with a lot of line items, you're more than welcome to use the Download Schedule of Values worksheet in Excel. If you select this link, it will ask you if you would like to download the Excel version of your Schedule of Values, and then it will give you the opportunity to view all of these line items in Excel, and you can update columns E and F accordingly. After you save that Excel spreadsheet, you would then simply click the Import Invoice Items button and bring in that Excel spreadsheet to eBuilder, and this grid in this screen will automatically update based off of what you entered into your Excel spreadsheet. After you have entered everything that you need to into the grid and the header information at the top and attached any supporting documentation or backup documentation required, you can then scroll to the bottom of your page and click the Submit button. If you aren't ready to submit, but you would like to save a draft, you're more than welcome to do so, and this draft would be available to you next time you log into eBuilder. So after you click the Submit button, it will then automatically go to ASUS for review. It will be reviewed by the Capital Project Supervisor and the Project Accounting Analyst. If they request revisions or have questions, they would send it back to you to make any updates. After any updates are completed, it will then return to you to sign your pay application. Every time there is an action required for you in eBuilder, you will receive an email notification. You are able to follow the link in the email, which will ask you to log into eBuilder, and then the pay application will open automatically. The other option is, after you log into eBuilder, if you go to your home page, you will see a section called Workflow in your Court, and any actions that you have to take will be listed below. So at this time, we're going to look at this example of Pay App 3, and it's ready for subcontractor signature. If you select Pay App 3, that pay application will open up. You'll be able to review any of the details for that pay application that you previously submitted, and you'll see your invoice items grid at the bottom. At this point, you can follow the directions in the blue section called Backup Documentation. What you will do is at the top right-hand side of your screen, you're going to select the Print button. You will then select to merge template, and then you will select Subcontractor Invoice, and then Print. You will then be prompted by your computer if you want to open or save this PDF version. What you will see is a copy of the ASUS C360 and all of the information that you entered into eBuilder merged onto this template. You'll see page 1 is your ASUS C360, and in subsequent pages, page 2, 3, or however many line items you have, would be your schedule of values. So every line item, the contract value, work completed this period, and so on. If you scroll all the way to the bottom of your line items, you will see your totals completed as well. We do request that you sign the first page on the bottom left-hand side for the subcontractor certification section, and you will sign in this gray area. You have two options for signature. You're more than welcome to use an Adobe signature if you're familiar with that method, or you can simply print the PDF to your printer, physically sign it, and scan it back into your computer. After it is saved on your computer, you would then go back to your payment application section and upload your signed invoice to the subcontractor sign invoice section. Again, you can either drag and drop the file, or you can select the Browse Computer button and browse your computer and upload your saved file. After you've signed and uploaded your correct file, you can then scroll to the top or bottom of your page. You will select the signed action and then click the Take Action button. After you do this, it will then go back to ASUS for final signature, approval, and accounts payable processing. You will receive an FYI email once this pay application has been forwarded to our accounts payable. Again, that is just an FYI, and no action is going to be required. It is just for your informational purposes only. If you have any questions on how to submit or sign your pay application, feel free to reach out to an American States Utility Services employee, and we'd be more than happy to answer any questions. Thank you.